Hey there, YouTube. What's going on? Hope you've been doing well. And once more, I apologize in advance for the probably potentially bad recording, or if the background music ends up drowning out some of what I end up saying here. I just can't at the moment afford a proper, recording set. I'm actually looking into that, so please bear with. Well, that aside, I just wanted to do a quick update, because it's not like I have anyone expecting updates, but that's not the point. I just committed to semi-regular uploads, and I think, well, that perhaps even if I don't feel like there's much worth sort of putting out there, I do want to get in the habit, get in the groove of uploading. So there's a topic that I'd like to discuss today. Actually, I've been doing some thinking about something, and today I'd like to talk about the pressures of, it's not like measuring up to your sort of what you maybe envisioned for yourself when you were much younger. Let's make something clear, get something out of the way. I have never once in my life reached a point where I could say, oh yeah, I'm the man, I'm cool, I got it going on. There was never a time where I felt completely confident in whether it's the way that I looked, the way that I speak, the way that I sort of project myself out there. There's never been a time where I felt completely at ease and sort of like comfortable in my own shell, sort of thing, and you might be thinking that that's a really bad thing, but I'm starting to think that that's pretty normal to a certain extent. Of course, it's really not good to be uptight the entire time, to exude a certain kind of awkwardness, the moment people reach out or in every interaction. But I've been learning to accept that, and just kind of go along with it, just play along with it. I don't pay too much mind to whenever I flub my words. I don't say or act in the way that it's, life isn't a movie, it's not a script, nothing is scripted. So if I had this script running in the back of my head and I'm not able to sort of reproduce that, I don't give myself such a hard time anymore. It's I just go for a more spontaneous approach, just try to adjust and accommodate to adjust to the situation, accommodate to others, and just maybe that makes me a better, hopefully the outcome of that is that I hope that I'm a better listener, that I'm a little more aware of others, and I'm not focusing on, I'm not in my own head, the whole time, but I'm focusing on other people and what they're all about, because maybe there's, that's where the cool is, that's where it's at. It's not showing others what you're you know, what you like, that you got the stuff. It's more about you showing, sort of interest in what others sort of have that you don't, and how you might sort of complement each other. So I've just been doing a lot of things, like I used to have these very superficial ideas of what cool, like being very aloof, sort of detached, calm and collected sort of individual, while I still think that there's definitely a certain coolness to that. If that's not you, I don't think that's anyone. I think it's just, it's a very sort of manufactured, constructed image that a lot of people, especially celebrities, we were taught like to sort of look up to these people, who have these very sort of curated sort of projections of themselves. They very kind of pruned, and they're kind of at odds with reality, because these people a lot of the time, like I used to think of, well, David Bowie, he was a person who was like always able to, like, in anything he did, he was absolutely cool, and it's a kind of very sort of effortlessly cool kind of person, so I always sort of aspired to be that kind of character, or to project that onto others. But at the end of the day, as David Bowie, he's never, he like many other celebrities, I guess, he had a whole like committee of people, of managers, people like trying to maintain a certain a brand, that's his brand, so he has a reputation to uphold, and it's in his best interest not to maybe show, even though in interviews with a lot of these rock stars and whatnot, they're very, they come across as very down to earth, a lot of them, very sincere, and approachable. There's still, the ugly side to them that they don't really reveal to the world, unless like an unauthorized biographer kind of picks up on their scent and publishes a very nasty sort of like defamation. I don't know, but I think what I'm trying to say here is just we don't get to see people like every facet of who they are. There are probably sides to them that most people would agree aren't very cool, So I kind of made my peace with that, and I hope that you can too, if that's, because there's so much pressure to be a certain way, and to keep up with the trends, or just to be original. I think that's the pressure nowadays. It's just like, be original, to stand out any way that you can. But like when everyone's trying to be original, then nobody's like real. You don't get to, people don't get to just be themselves anymore, and then there is a lack. What you end up with is a lack of authenticity, a dearth of authenticity, because you're not allowed to just sort of be chill, and be okay, content with being just like an average dude. So I guess that's all I had to say, I think that reflects a lot upon the things that I do, like my guitar playing. That I'm gonna still keep posting those. I know they're really bad, I wanted to be clear about something. I feel a little conflicted about being a bad, sort of sucky, no talent guitar player. I can't sing, and I certainly can't play very well. But at the same time, I do feel that the rawness of a bad performance, there's something there that I feel like it's my own, I'm not trying to be original. Maybe I'm trying to be original, but it's the wrong way to go about it. But still, I don't want to like dishonor, all these artists I admire. Of course, if I'm gonna cover an artist, I want to put out something that's, gonna sort of honor them in some way, But let's just say that if I know that I'm giving it my best shot, that I'm using like my ability to a full extent, I'm not holding back, and I'm trying to transmit the same feeling and emotion that I get from listening to these bands, these songs, then I would say that I would have succeeded in what I set out to do with this channel. So I guess that's it. I think the mall might be closing its doors anytime now, so I'm gonna shut this one off. And thanks a lot if you're watching if you got to this point. I hope you're safe, and yeah, I guess that's all I got. Cheers. Take care.